G'day Phil, I thought I'd just try and do a quick video on the DNA that I've done. I got it through a company called Living DNA, and they're affiliated with Find My Past. So if you go in there, you can usually get a cheap one, for Black Friday, which is the American sales season. So I believe it's going cheap right now. But essentially, it develops with a company called Living DNA. These two are partnered. Uh, it's fairly straightforward. They just send out a cheek swab and take it. It takes a few weeks for the results to come in, but I'll show you what actually turns up on mine. This is the Living DNA dashboard. So if we have a look, most of my genetics come from Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Great Britain and Ireland, I should say. So 100% through here, and it breaks it down into various percentages. So gives information about it, how we know that certain populations travelled through various things, and this just measures it through time. If I have a look at the maternal ancestry, it actually goes back to about 25,000 years roughly, and it gives information about the this is the maternal or mum's line, and that belongs to the U4 haplogroup, and that line can be traced back from Africa, various parts of Africa, through Palestine, Iran, and various other areas. So if we have a look at, say, the coverage map, this is where most of the 34% of mum's DNA comes from, just this little area. So we go back to the results. So what have we got? We've got 5% is Wales, and that's what we find. There's actually a lot more. I haven't dug too deep into it right now. There is a hell of a lot more going. So for the paternal ancestry, for instance, my father tells that my father's my haplogroup is whatever the hell that is. So we have a look through here. We come from Europe, from Africa, and then we spread through, and we eventually end up here. So let's have a look at the coverage map. So the coverage is 60% Ireland, Scotland, Brittany, Wales. These percentages don't seem to add up at first sight. They do make sense though in terms of DNA. If we go to family matching, these two people here, Rosemary Leonard and Jacob Dory, have also done the test, and using the information in the DNA, they've predicted, Living DNA has predicted these two people are matches to fifth cousin or so approximately. And this 50 and 53 centimorgans, these are measures of how the DNA is measured, and the higher the number of centimorgans, the closer the match. So what I've done to these two people, I've actually sent them a message, and hopefully they'll get back, and I might find I've got a cousin there that I wasn't aware of. So that's very quickly there. For me, it's worthwhile. I think it's interesting. As I say, I've only started doing it since Diane, but yeah, I think it's quite interesting. And this is where little surprises can turn up as well. So that's interesting. So with all of this, Living DNA and Find My Past enable DNA searches. But one other one that I've joined is this program called GEDmatch, and GED is the genealogical exchange of data. So it's a GEDCOM file which is used between family trees programs such as Legacy and Brothers Keeper and all. But this one here is actually comparing the information in my DNA. So I uploaded this a couple of days ago. This is a free site. Now my kit has been measured, uploaded, and it's been compared to other people. So that's my DNA, my kit number. So by clicking that, this brings up a link, a list of people I've got some sort of relationship to. There's hell of a lot of people, but as you can see, there's these numbers here in terms of centimorgans are not particularly impressive by the time you come down there, but up here there's something reasonable. 67 centimorgans. Jacob Dory has been picked up with living DNA. Now this person at 67 centimorgans, there's a greater chance that we're related. So the generation overlap is approximately 3 to 4 generations ago, 3.9 generations ago, so 3 to 4 generations ago. So I've contacted Jacob Dory. He's 4.5 generations ago, which is 4 or 5 generations, so that'd be cousins somewhere. And I've also contacted this Rosemary Leonard. The interesting thing is it also gives the email. These people have all submitted their DNA results to this GEDmatch. So this person, this is the guy's email address, so I could contact them. Yeah, I don't know whether you're particularly bothered in doing this sort of thing. For me, it's just sparked my interest after Diane, because find out how many other relatives I've got. I mean, my father, he might have had kids before he met Mum. I wouldn't have thought so before Diane, but now who knows? And it may be the same with your parents or uncles, all of this sort of thing. So I just thought I'd make this up quick just to give you and Kerry an idea of what can be done. I saw a fair bit of Kerry's information and family on Find My Past as well, so that might be worth having a look. Okay, see you later both. Bye.